For the first time, state leaders in charge of protecting waterways and farms are answering questions to 12 News about a massive bird flu outbreak.
The state's largest egg producer, Hickman's Family Farms, buried millions of birds on its property in Tonopah after their production plants were infected last month. But neighbors want assurances that the mass burial will not contaminate their groundwater. As Joe Dana tells us, the state says they don't have that answer yet.
Officials with two state agencies tell me today they issued an emergency waiver to Hickman's to bury millions of chickens on their property in Tonopah, calling it the best option for all parties in an unprecedented emergency. Speaking to 12 News last week, Glenn Hickman of Hickman's Farms says they dug 12-foot deep trenches and buried 4 million chickens in them. Hickman's was asked about the potential of contamination to water tables.
I guess there's always going to be concerns, but we have septic systems and cemeteries all over this country and this state, so I don't know that just the fact that we're burying a lot of them at one time makes a big difference.
On Thursday, the state's Department of Environment and Quality director told 12 News the final verdict on potential contamination is still out. What have you determined is the risk level?
Hickman's has been very cooperative and we'll be working very closely with them over the next 90 days at least to fully evaluate and mitigate any harm. There's no current risk to the aquifer.
And you say no current risk, but the hydrology test still needs to be done, correct?
That's right. And so once we have all that information, we can work with them on a plan to make sure that that remains the case.
I would be very concerned that no research has been done to determine whether this kind of disposal method in this particular place is safe.
J.C. Berger is with the Fair Agriculture Council, a nonprofit that investigates industrial food systems. She echoes concerns of homeowners in Tonopah about possible contamination.
In many cases, it travels through the groundwater, it leaches through the soil, it travels through surface waters.
Berger alleges agencies that regulate industrial farms like Hickman's are too cozy with the industry. Federal regulations require large farms to create a mortality disposal plan and warns burials can result in groundwater contamination. To what extent Hickman's had a plan in place is not known. State officials said Thursday they did not have that information. They want to reassure Tonopah residents there is no risk.
Since May 16th, the Department of Ag State Vet's Office, our emergency response team have been working 24/7 through holidays and everything to manage this in the most expedient, efficient, public health, environmental way possible.
The state also tells me this could come at a price tag to the state of up to $1.5 million, as state officials say the urgency of the situation required government to assist Hickman's in its cleanup efforts. Joe Dana, 12 News.
Joe, thanks.